Okay.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome in to the huddle. You found us once again. Stupid gap. Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Focus Show, scanning the generation gap of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. I am your MC, Brian the Amigo Baldwin, and it's my pleasure, my honor, to introduce to you Ethan, the Doc Marshall. Ethan, my brother, how you doing?
Doing good. Much better fantasy week for my teams than last week. So
yeah, same here. I mean, Emord took a beating, but
you know what? That's what happens when the three of us put our heads together. Nothing good.
Man, we had Kareem Hunt and we went with Naheem Hines.
Yeah, what do you?
I remember voting for Hunt and saying that I would just go with the majority because it was the floor play. But whatever.
God, oh my God! Listen to this man.
Not remembering that one.
I did not inhale. I mean, listen to this guy. Yeah. Okay, the guy that obviously did not inhale.
I did not, Your Honor.
Connor, the gut, Marshall. Connor,
what's up, guys?
How you doing, my brother?
Well, I was wrong about some things and I was right about some things, just like last week.
Yeah. That's something we'll get to. We'll get to your to your regurgitations.
Yes.
So we'll go ahead and do that. So So today what we're gonna do, we're gonna go and of course talk about some stuff that we got wrong. Yeah, it happens. We're human. And then we're gonna start also go over the games. Talk about some of the injuries. Unfortunately, that is the theme of week 2, injuries. We'll be hopefully we can cheer you up, Saquon Barkley owners, Christian McCaffrey owners, and just let you know that there is hope. I had Saquon last year, and he did exactly the same thing. He gave me 12 points the first week, and then went out the second game. That's what he did, but I scrambled and I became 1 point away from almost making the playoffs. So it's not over, man. It's not over. Actually, dude, if I would not have held on to Byron Pringle and picked up Hunter Henry instead of telling Connor about it. Oh
yeah.
Who knows? That was the Lord helping me out. And I was like, no, I'll pass it to Connor.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, well, I'm the amigo.
I credit this. I haven't brought this out for a while. I credit this to that.
Dude, I think you'll bring that up every episode. What are you talking about? That's
no, it hasn't. I've gone a couple episodes without showing it.
What streak do you think goes further than that one? Just tell me.
Well, at least let me make it smooth. We're watching the Saints and the Raiders tonight, boys, and you know what that means. Voldemort!
Yeah!
There we go.
five shows. 5 shows of Voldemort. I'm sorry, man. It's the little things in life. All right, man. So we're just we're gonna be talking about the games. We're really excited you guys were able to join us, listen in to us. And, if you guys are enjoying watching the show, listening to the show, and you're entertained by 3 generational beefheads just bantering about, please hit the like and the subscribe button. We'll feel the love, and you'll get every episode to help you through the season, man. So Connor he's still number 1. He's still number 1, even though the Doc.
Yes.
What's your point total right now, big time?
Dude, I'm above 200. I'm at 201.68.
In half point PPR. That's insane.
Half point PPR. Yes.
Insane.
This is like where if you're able to land 3 top tier RBs, that's what you can do.
That's the beauty of the Thunderflex, huh?
Yeah. And one of them went out and didn't even play the whole last quarter of their game. So.
Well, this is our 18th show. It's September 21st in this foul year of our Lord. So 2020 probably one of the worst years that I think we've all experienced. But football's here, so things are not as bad as they should be. This is going to be our second review show. So hopefully you're around for the first. And this is actually our first show with the doc. The doc was too humiliated by getting beat by Connor to show his face.
Hey, I wasn't beat yet Sunday night.
And so he called in sick. Because of cats, but whatever, man. Whatever you have to do.
In the year of COVID, if you cannot appear sniffing and sneezing and coughing and gunking up,
Well
you
played.
just can't.
Well played.
No, I dude, hey, man, I'm right there with you, dude. I support you. Just say it's a little coincidental. And just saying.
I can ship you all my Kleenexes from that Sunday.
Well, what I think is crazy is I'm ranked number 1, but I'm scared. I'm scared of having to play the Chaka Khans again, man. With Aaron Jones, whew, I was wrong about him, boy.
Well, we can. That's one of the things we're going to talk about today is the guts, bad calls, the regurgitations. You just want to jump right in, man. You're right in there, dude.
I want to continue to get deeper. So there are several guys that I was wrong about. That I was straight up wrong about, and I want to own up to it. I was wrong about Aaron Jones because I said he was too expensive for what he was in the second round. I thought like A.J. Dillon and Jamal Williams and Swerve being there was going to be like an issue. But apparently it is not. The man is still scoring 45 points in a game. So,
Swerve?
Yeah,
Swerve?
you know Swerve.
No.
Swerve
No,
and
no.
Irvin. That's his nickname.
When? Have you ever heard of that, Doc?
I was watching the game, and the commentator was like, "Yeah, LaForce says his nickname is Swerve. Yeah, they call him Swerve and Irvin, John. He really has a gadget-like presence on this offense. They're going to use him for all kinds of creative and fun plays."
And that's
Aaron
verbatim.
Jones. That's for Aaron Jones.
No, that's for Swerve.
Swerve and Irvin.
They were talking about Swerve and Irvin, yeah. But no, but Aaron Jones is the man. I was wrong about Russell Gage, and it looks like I was wrong about Hayden Hurst. I could not be further down the line. We don't know.
I think betting on the receiving core for the Falcons is typically a safe.
Yeah.
Typically a safe bet.
Yeah.
With that defense? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
sir.
a quarterback at the helm.
Oh,
yes.
Ryan's a good quarterback. You know?
He can't run. He has to throw it.
Exactly. That's what I love about like when people were talking about like the Dak, picking wide receivers out of Dallas. The thing about that is, they have they end up in these shootouts, but Dak vultures those goal line opportunities, and he had 2-3 rushing touchdowns on the day?
Three rushing touchdowns on the day.
Yeah, he was insane. He was insane, man. Like if you were playing up against that guy, oh my gosh, yeah, just like just playing against Aaron Jones. But I mean, and Ethan will be the first one to say that you don't expect Aaron Jones to do that every time.
No. He's in my flex. I'm hoping to get 15 solid points out of him a week.
But that's the thing. He's in your flex.
That was really cool. What I thought you took a risk was that playing Miles Sanders, but that worked out for you.
Surprisingly, against a pretty stout defensive line with the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I knew last week, Sanders was out and I was playing Scott instead. And I blame him he was out, injury, terrible game. Sanders was okay. McCaffrey did his thing. But this week, all my RBs.
Nice. Nice. And we kind of hijacked your segment there, Connor. So go and talk about Stephon Diggs next.
Well, I don't know if I said like anything. Did I say anything anti Stephon Diggs last week?
Yes, man.
I said don't start him. Yeah.
Or you were like, don't draft him, and and all that stuff, and I don't want that on my bench, and blah 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 blah. I mean, yeah, dude. So come on.
I was wrong.
Talking to a couple of Stephon owners here.
I was wrong about Diggs, guys. I was wrong, and I was right about Jonnu Smith, Noah Fant, and Mike Gesicki. I just wanted to get that out there as well to counterbalance.
But But
Mike
hold on,
Gesicki was one of
we
my
were
left
all
tackles.
on board with.
No,
Jonnu
I'm not claiming that over you guys. I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
because I had Jonu Smith in one
Oh
of my
yeah,
leagues.
and you
I had him.
started. Yeah,
George Clooney.
Yeah.
that's a good tight end group right
Yeah.
there.
And that's deep analysis right there. Okay.
Getting deep into the tight
This is
ends.
the real
Yeah.
stuff, guys. This is that high quality
Wow.
content.
Nice. All right. Anybody else you want to spit up there? Gut.
I think those are all my regurgitations.
Cool. All right.
If another one
Well,
happens, it happens.
Well, we need to get like the MASH theme song. All right.
For
'cause,
that?
yeah, this our next segment. That ding ding ding. You know, it's because
You should just sing it
gosh,
so we don't
yeah.
get copyrighted.
no, you'd want me to play it instead of sing it. But
Play
you
it on
guys are
your
the strongest.
bass.
Well, I mean, it's a guitar thing, but you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so let's talk about the injuries, guys. Let's just go ahead and just jump right into that. So what we're gonna talk about the injuries real quick, go through some of this this long list, unfortunately, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the games and go and talk about the games. So all right, first foremost, the biggest heartbreak, Barkley, torn ACL, man, gone for the year. Devonta Freeman is said to be meeting with the Giants for a workout tomorrow. Guys, Deion Lewis, Devontae Freeman, or pass? Doc, which one are you thinking?
In the league where I have, or had, I should say, Saquon Barkley, I went Deion Lewis because he's on the team, right? Like he is currently the guy who is starting for them, right?
Mhm.
So that could change. You pivot if you have to, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Doc or Connor, same question, dude. Which one would you pick, or none?
I currently have Deion Lewis in one of our leagues. I don't have Saquon in that league, but I'm thinking maybe trying to work something out with the owner. But I mean, my course of action would probably be pick him up if you have Saquon, just because he's a stopgap. If there's someone else better out there, pick up the better guy. Because Hines is on waivers now. Some people are freaking out, but Mac's done for the year. And, we've seen Hines' ceiling and his floor in 2 games.
Yeah, see, you're leaning towards exactly where I'm at, dude. Which is, I'm out on all of it because the way that I saw it was that you were you had an elite player in Barkley on a crappy team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then now you have an average player on a crappy team
with a crappy line.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, I'm out on the Giants, dude. Giants backfield anyway. I am in on Ingram still. I think Ingram's gonna do well in this. I think one of the other injuries was Sterling Shepard. On the Giants, he has that toe injury. But it just so happened that right when he got the toe injury, Golden Tate, that was his first game, and he got just as many targets as Slayton. So so Slayton might not be on your wire, but Golden Tate might. So they're going to be throwing it more. So I'm out on the whole backfield. So I would be a pass on that one. So, but Christian McCaffrey, this is one that you guys are intimate with. Ankle injury, said to be sidelined for multiple weeks. Is it Mike Davis time, or is that just good news for DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson owners? Connor, what do you think, man?
It's Mike Davis time, baby. No, I mean, Mike Davis did have like a lot of targets.
I don't think it's ever been uttered ever in the history of the world.
It felt so funny to say.
He had 11 fantasy points in 1 quarter of play.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like it's a coin. I feel like it's a coin flip. Like he could, not do anything, but he could blow up. I know that's easy to say, but I really, the Panthers team is still unproven to me, so I'm gonna lean towards DJ Moore getting more love, and probably Robbie Anderson too.
All right, what do you think, Ethan?
From what we saw in the game, I think Davis is going to be a fine, at least flex play, if not an RB2 for your team.
See, I'm
Now,
nervous.
it's not going to be Christian McCaffrey, but Christian McCaffrey has had, for Christian McCaffrey games, modest success because you have a different quarterback who isn't dumping it off to him as much. It's kind of like what we're seeing with the Chargers and Eckler, right?
Yeah.
And so it looks like Davis is still going to be involved to where he becomes startable. That's where I'm.
You're not worried about Curtis Samuel taking some of the runs? Because he did. He did.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not worried about it because what I saw in that last fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm firmly into the DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. It's going to get more love. Yeah, I'm firmly into that. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll be right. We'll see. But that's where I'm
at. Not saying that more love isn't going to Moore and Anderson, but I think Davis is still going to be a fine start. That's what I'm.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you were talking about the 11 points, but I remember watching the, my score just. DJ Moore just going up and up and up as soon as McCaffrey went out. So I'm just that's what I saw. So
garbage time is probably what you're seeing too.
Yeah. Well, you gotta love it, dude. Okay. All right, let's go to the next heartbreak in line. Next heartbreak, George Kittle, his leg. They said that he might be back. What do you think? Do you think that? I mean, do you believe in the Jordan Reed explosion, Ethan?
No, I'm not buying that. I think Kittle's going to be back soon. So don't abandon ship on that. You spent too high draft capital to do that. But I mean, there's another injury that we have to talk about that I think also affects maybe Jordan Reed and how in you are on Jordan Reed.
Mm-hmm. You talking about Jimmy G?
Yep, Jimmy G's out.
Yeah, I read it might just be coach speak, but I did read that that the coach came out and said that he should be ready. He's week to week. But that might just be coach speak. That there's a chance that he might play next week, but it's probable he's gonna be playing the following. Yeah, but yeah, that's a big thing. I know Connor. I already know what you think about George Kittle, because a couple of segments ago, this is what I thought about whenever George Kittle got hurt, was that you said that there's a strong baby, or that's holding up another baby, but the other baby that's holding up the strong baby, that's George Kittle. That's what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, I know we've kind of been preaching the whole mantra, at least I've been preaching it. I don't, but Doc doesn't practice it, that you shouldn't start a player the first game after the injury. With Kittle, because he's such a strong baby, Connor, would you start him the first game, like as soon as he's ready to go, put him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's one of the guys that you look past, and apparently Miles Sanders is too.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. But also on that, so you got George Kittle, got Jimmy G, Raheem Mostert, okay, with the sprained MCL,
here in San Francisco.
Yeah, dude, and also Tevin Coleman injured, and actually, it's actually being said right now that is being reported that the 49ers players are afraid and actually anxious about playing on the turf again at MetLife Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, because all those people got injured. Yeah, it's crazy to even say that, but. I mean, we didn't even talk about Nick Bosa, tore his ACL, Solomon Thomas, a defensive lineman for San Fran. I mean, he tore his ACL. Mm-hmm. And then, we didn't even talk about Sherman not being there. I mean, so San Francisco is not, the defense that you drafted, in the 9th round or what have you,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, they're getting closer to Minnesota.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, which Minnesota had their one of their linebackers, Anthony Barr. He's injured and out for the year, but I mean,
as if he needed another reason to be out on.
Yeah, right. Well, Emore just now dropped Minnesota, by the way.
Yeah.
It was time.
We had faith.
I was wrong about them.
So, guys, what do y'all think? I mean, whoever wants to jump in first, what do y'all think of that offense? I mean, like I guess Ethan, you're alluding to Jimmy G. I mean, it's Nick Mullins. I mean, are you, what's your thoughts, dude, on the whole thing?
I mean, I wasn't really big on their offense to begin with.
Okay.
San Francisco. I liked George Kittle. I liked picking up Debo Samuel, and stashing him on IR, and that was about it. The running back core was too, amorphous.
Woo, that's a doc word. Amorphous.
Didn't seem appealing to me. So
Nice. Okay. All right. So perfect. Good analysis. And Connor, you feel the same way, man? Amorphous? Do you feel like it's all amorphous? Or am I being too obtuse?
Well, I think that it's like McKinnon is healthy now and Coleman is injured, but by the time Coleman comes back, McKinnon's going to get injured. So,
It's just going to be a roundabout. So it's never going to be a 3 healthy monster, huh? Oh, and,
No.
and Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson's there.
Jeff
We can
Wilson
talk about him.
Jr.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
He's
yeah.
he's the second.
No disrespect to senior. I apologize. Yeah. If senior's anything like junior, I apologize sincerely. Okay. So Tyrod Taylor, moving on. Tyler Taylor. Sometimes you just live your life right and things happen, and Justin Herbert started, and what do you know? Austin Eckler has a great week. I mean, how about that?
Because he doesn't run as much.
Yeah, and I just read, it said chest injury, right? And I read today that, that it was complications from an ejection he got for a rib injury. Okay, so that's what, and he actually went to the hospital for it, right? Yeah, and I'm like, dude, that's how you know when you're old. Whenever you get an injection for something, you're like, oh my gosh, my heart, my chest, I gotta go to the hospital. I mean, yeah. So my hope is that Justin Herbert, I didn't see anything that, I mean, of course he made mistakes, but he scored more points against a Kansas City defense than Tyrod Taylor did against a Cincinnati defense. That's gotta ring. That's gotta be screaming in the guy's head.
Yeah, and didn't the coach come out and say that Tyrod was going to be the starter again next week? I mean, that's just hey, you know what? You've earned that. You've earned that.
Man, I was thinking about this. I watched every moment of Hard Knocks. So Hard Knocks they don't really talk more about football, but more about feelings and getting behind the scenes and how people feel and all that stuff, right? So you get to know these people on an emotional level, and it seems like the coach Anthony Lynn, he's a very caring guy. He's an ex-player himself. And so I think he's just trying to show support to somebody who's in the freaking hospital.
Yeah.
He doesn't want them to be like freaking out about the hospital, but I'm sure he's like, dude, he's probably gonna be going, you know what, man, you should probably wait and rest a little bit more. I love you so much, Tyrod. Why don't you just rest some more? Because Herbert, dude, that's the future. Tyrod Taylor's not the future. And dude, he almost brought the team to win against the Chiefs, and I would say, would you guys agree that that it was actually the coach that made them lose that game, and not really Herbert or any of the players? Would you guys agree with me on that?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Why kick it in the overtime?
Yeah, that was stupid.
4th and 1. Oh, my defense is doing so good against Patrick Mahomes. What the mess is that?
Yeah.
So he was on a series of just all over himself, and so I think that Herbert should keep the job. And at this point, since he's done such a good job, you want that confidence of rookies to be up. So I think he should probably keep it. So hopefully, I'm an Eckler owner. He does keep it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Cortland Sutton out for the year. Is it Jerry Jeudy time? What's your thoughts on it, Doc?
Jerry Jeudy and Fant.
Hamler, KJ Hamler.
Don't even know who Hamler is, but there's also yet another injury on Denver's team that makes me not really care about the receiving core for the Broncos.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
KJ Hamler, dude, he's the yeah. Okay, actually, you go ahead and break what you're about to say, because it ties perfectly into my discussion with KJ Hamler. Doc? Who is that could be that injury that is more significant than Cortland Sutton?
I don't think it's more significant than I don't know.
as significant. As significant.
I'm even saying as because I think he'll be back, but Drew
Okay.
Lock is out. Drew Lock is out. Drew Lock is injured.
Drew Lock, yeah, that is, and Jeff Driscoll, good old
Yeah.
Jeff Driscoll, the insurance agent. Sounds like it.
Yeah, but hey, man, I mean, he actually kept him in the game. You know,
So, yeah.
what it's worth, but
Well,
still.
but the way that he did do that though was that KJ Hamler, like as soon as Jeff Driscoll came in, KJ Hamler was like his focused target. He got 7 receptions, and it was all 7 targets. It was all whenever Driscoll came in, and so he's a rookie. He's one of the rookies that they drafted, and I think Connor was the one that actually talked about that guy whenever we were talking about Judy. He's like, no, there's another really good rookie. So Connor, those injuries to my beloved team, my Broncos, what are they gonna do to it?
It's gonna make Mr. Noah fantastic for fantasy football. Pretty great, you know. He scored. He scored an octopus. That's when you get a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion. He scored that on Sunday. It was pretty special.
Dude, you come up with these terms where I feel like I'm like in another world. I haven't ever heard of that before.
I'm just saying what I hear the people on the game say. Like, I swear to
Are
you,
you
like,
sure?
yes.
Do you have the sound on? Is that just in your head?
No, I'm not messing with you. Look at like
You're
I
pretty
was
verbatim with that other one. I'm just saying.
so I have this app. I'm not going to say it because I don't want it to get taken down cuz I can watch all the games for free on it, but they straight up have like YouTube Red Zone, which they'll like watch the 3 games that are going on and tell you what's happening. And that guy that was hosting YouTube Red Zone, he kept saying octopus. He kept trying to make it a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since he's giving you games for free, you're like, I will take on your verbiage, sir. Whatever you say.
I just thought it
sir.
was funny because it was like kind of dumb, but he stood by it. He was like, "Yeah, it's an octopus," and I was like, "Why not? Why not?
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Why not?"
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. So are my beloved Broncos in trouble, Connor? Give me some hope.
Well, dude, it's not pretty because Drew Lock is injured. So Drew Lock is injured. Courtland Sutton is injured. I'm not with how the Chargers played and how the Raiders are playing. It's not looking up for the Broncos.
Well, Melvin Gordon's looking good. You know, even though Philip Lindsay has that turf toe, I mean, Melvin Gordon is the boss. He's the bell cow. I mean, what Freeman got like 3 or 4 carries or something like that. You know,
It's all fun and games till Gordon gets injured because he's injury prone too.
don't you put that evil on me, Ricky.
I'm not, but if we're gonna,
okay. All right, Devontae Adams, hamstring. It's not supposed to not be that bad, but that's what kind of sparked the AJ explosion. Doc, that happened right in your pocket. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on that injury, dude? If it's significant, what do you think that's going to do?
Well, if it's significant, I think I always say his name wrong. Marquez Valdez Scandling.
That's why everybody says MVS.
Scantling.
MVS. All right.
That's why everybody says that. Yeah.
Alan Lazard. I like those guys. And I think you could play if Adams is out, you could play both of them and are great plays. But
MVS dropped that touchdown, man.
Yeah, I know. But if he's not, if Adams isn't playing, I think they're safe plays.
If Adams isn't playing, I think AJ is the guy. Yeah, because dude, did you see some of those catches?
No, I'm talking about guys who you can get off waiver or something like that. I mean, if someone's got Aaron Jones, especially after last week, they're not letting him go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Those are good waiver targets. Yes.
Yeah.
Aaron
Jones is going to get love now.
Yeah, I think Lazard over MVS would be the priority in my mind.
Now, here's a question, though. You know, what we're seeing, because even last week, Jones had a decent game. I think, he came in slightly above projected points. But they've only played Minnesota, and they're playing the Lions yesterday. So they haven't really been I don't think they've been challenged at the line yet. That offensive line has not really been challenged. The run game has not really been challenged. So, you know, I'd like to see Aaron Jones and that offensive line face up against a better defense before I'm like totally full believer. You know.
Fair. That's fair. Connor, are you thinking the same thing about rush to the waiver wire and pick up Lazard or MVS?
Yes. And I also would not be worried if I was the Devontae Adams owner, because he's probably going to be like a couple of games, and then it'll be back.
Yeah, I read that. It's not supposed to be that serious.
Well, that's
what
how
I
he
heard.
works. That's how he gets you 46 points. He does it, and then he has to like sit out a game or two.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
only
but,
fair.
Michael Thomas last week said, "Hey man, after practice, I feel great. And then of course he's out. So, it's difficult to take the word from what a player says, because they're wanting to be out there, like Julio Jones.
Yeah,
Julio Jones in the hammy. He's got the hammy too, man.
And he dropped a touchdown.
Yeah,
yeah. He never does
sure
that.
Did. No. So, I'm both Ethan and I are Hayden Hurst owners, so there's a part of me, and I'm thinking I can speak for him when I say that, that we're kind of, sit down, Julio, rest that hammy.
Yeah, I've got Ridley too in the league. So I actually got Ridley in a couple leagues. So I'm very much a fan of Julio sitting down. Although, you know what? Julio might be what's making it easy for Ridley, because when are you going to stop doubling Julio and double up on Ridley? Well, then you're going to have or Julio Jones problems on the other side of the field,
Good point. Yeah, it's almost like whenever AJ Green went out, when Tyler Boyd was on fire, and everybody was like, "Oh, Tyler Boyd's going to be the wide receiver one now," and he just kind of that's what he did, So yeah, it might be something like that. You might be right, but if he's playing, I mean, it doesn't sound like it's significant, but apparently it's affecting his ability. So that's something to keep an eye on. And the last injury I have is Bruce Arvin. What he is the linebacker in Seattle who tore his ACL. And so anytime you hear a defensive guy go down, especially in something like Seattle, needs to be mentioned. Is that something to be worried about, Connor? Would you be worried about if you own Seattle's defense?
Yeah, I'm dropping them and picking up Washington.
What about you, Ethan?
Man, in that, I used to think NFC West, but now I'm thinking, all those teams are, or not all of them, but the Super Bowl team from last year is totally depleted. But still, I mean, you got to play Arizona, who's a high-powered offense, and you got to play the Rams, who can put points on the board too. So I'm not in on them.
You're out. Shark Tank.
Yeah. No, I'm happy. I'm happy with my pivot that I made off of Minnesota, because I was on the fence about Seahawks and Tampa Bay. So
I'm in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I picked up Tampa Bay, and I also have the Chargers because I want to see what they do.
I mean, if you can hold Mahomes to as many points as they did, that's saying something.
Yeah. I just want to see what's going to happen there. But this would be a good time for us to thank the supporters of the show. High Volume Music Radio, go out and get their app, High Volume Music Radio app. They have some really great music, really great content. They have some really good talk shows there. They have us there. They have a lot of information. It's the pride of Sunnyside. So, and that's a suburb of Houston, so show some Houston love. Download that app, listen to it. You'll be happy that you did. Of course, in our other supporters, Sportshosts app. You want to talk about that, Connor?
Yeah, so Sportshosts app, guys, I've been talking about this for a while now. It's the premier global sports community app. You're talking to people about all types of sports from all over the place. And it's interesting because people are talking about lawn darts, like stuff you don't normally hear about. It's interesting, because right now we're really lucky. We have football, baseball, and basketball, but that also means that we're gonna have none of them for a short amount of time, and we're going to go through with withdrawals. So it'll be good to have these other sports that you know stuff about. So check it out.
When would you ever? Where can you buy a set of lawn darts now?
Academy?
Do you know what lawn darts are, right?
Yeah.
It's I mean like well I mean in my generation I mean that was like the thing to play, but when you think about it, it's a piece of plastic with a metal tip that you threw up in the air to get into a circle. Yeah, but hey man, I had no idea that you guys discussed it. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it as a child. But yeah, man, it's a great app. Sounds like it's
Sounds
it's
like a
lot of
great
fun
app
over
for
there.
people your age, Brian. For those of
I don't
you.
know. No, I can only handle about 2 or 3. Yeah. Yeah, my wife had to like literally pull the flip phone out of my hands. Yeah, because I mean I was like, dude, this is the stuff I saw on Star Trek. This is the future. What you're doing is no. This is Star Trek. This is future, so but all right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump to the games. Before we do that, I want to go ahead and just if you guys just kind of bear with me here. I wanted to 2 fantasy football PSAs, public service announcements. Okay. So these are little tips I want to kind of give you guys. All right. Little helpful hints. So the first one is something I experienced myself. That when you're deciding to drop a player, okay, just don't look at the disappointing stats. Okay, I know you can look at him like me. I was looking at Eckler, going, man, this is not what I want him to be. This guy is mess. I'm gonna get rid of him, right? But what I did is I took a couple of minutes, and I looked for you can find anything online pretty much. So I found like all the snaps of the last game. And when I watched it, I was like, you know what? I see how Kelly's getting involved. I see where Eckler's getting involved. I see where all that's happening. And then I was like, you know what? I just recategorized him, categorized him into like an RB2 or a flex. And now when I'm looking, I'm like, he's not that bad. It's not that bad. But see, if I wouldn't have watched the games and actually done the research and saw how he played and see that he's still okay, he's good, he's fine, I would have probably traded him for something that might have regretted. So it would have killed my depth. So yeah, make sure that you're doing your research, guys, before you do the quick eject. Just especially on the high draft picks. Just take a moment, do the research. And the thing is that you'll fall back in love with your player and you'll be happy. And so just go ahead and do that. So that's my first one. The second one is come on. I mean, I really can't believe I have to say this, but now that we're in the season, part of the season, part of the game is trading. That's what is part of it, right? And so I just didn't. I mean, it's one of those things you didn't think you had to talk about, but don't be a jerk, okay? When somebody offers you a trade, that if you don't like it, at least discuss with them, or just simply rejecting it. Just sitting there with no action because it's just hurting the other player, because the other player is trying to plan. You're screwing them over, dude, and you're just being rude. I mean, like, it's the height of rudeness to ignore someone if they're trying to talk to you. Like if you're sitting next to them like on a bus or something, and they're trying to talk to you, just ignoring them. That's the height of rudeness. Well, that's exactly what you're doing. Okay, if you don't like the trade, the option is not don't respond. All right, have some respect and just click reject. All right, so there we go. Said my piece. All right, so
Thank you.
let's go ahead and jump to the week 2 review, which actually rhymes, which is pretty awesome. So Connor, you want to lead us, dude?
So we had an interesting week this week, guys, and it started off. Oh, geez. And it started first try, and it started off with the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
And it was high scoring, a lot more high scoring than we thought it was going to be. It was 30-35. And if you had Hunt or Chubb, you were happy. I had Mixon, and I was not that happy. He scored like 12 points in PPR and like 10 points in half PPR. Not all that, but Joe Burrow did decently.
Connor, talk about that, man. What's your thoughts right now as a Mixon owner? You got him in the first round. Okay,
well,
so he's supposed to be your stud back.
Yeah, but we all 3 of us went Thunderflex. The Doc went McCaffrey. Yeah, you did, Brian. He went McCaffrey, and then he went Sanders, and then he went Aaron Jones. Brian, you
That's not
went
good.
Derrick Henry, you went Eckler, and you also got. Didn't you get
Kenny G.
Kareem?
Then I went Kenny G, and then I went DJ Moore, and then I went Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. hmm
And what did you do? What was your approach?
I got Mixon, and then I got Josh Jacobs, who I'm happy with,
Oh yeah.
and he did good tonight.
What
He
did he
did.
end up doing?
He got 12 points, but it was against the Saints. They have a good defense, good run D.
Oh, man, do you think that you okay? It's too early, but he did blow up against a bad defense. He just tore them up. A good defense is like middle range. Do you think that that's going to be like a common theme?
No, because there were other things that happened, like Jalen Richard vultured a touchdown. Like Devontae Booker was getting touches, which he shouldn't be.
Well, he did something that probably will limit those touches.
Yes.
There were a couple of goal line stands. I know a fullback got we're
Yeah,
talking about
fullback also. Yeah.
yeah, fullback got a catch. There was another one where Josh Jacobs had 2 or 3 shots at getting in, couldn't do it, and then he ended up Waller got a touchdown pass. So Jacobs just didn't wasn't able to capitalize on those goal line attempts. If
Mhm.
that happens, we're talking 20+ point game.
Okay. Okay. All right. But yeah, I think I kind of hijacked you, dude.
No, you're good.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, I was just really curious because it's really a unique situation. I
Well,
remember that being a Josh owner last year,
yeah.
manager, however you want to say it. And I was just wondering, just as an owner yourself, who fell absolutely in love with the RB, the number one running back last week. I was just wondering, the whole, falling to, well, is it falling to earth or is it just hit a buzzsaw, man? What just I was just wanted to ask you about that. Thank you for sharing your information, your insight. Please continue.
Well, it's like I didn't need him to blow up to win me this week. Like I have Kyler Murray, and I'm pretty confident in his ability to carry my team. And I have a good tight end room, and I have capable wide receivers. And Jonathan Taylor was a hit for me. So it's like I need Joe Mixon and Josh Jacobs to not bust. If my Thunderflex doesn't bust, and that's the thing with Joe Mixon, it's like Joe Burrow, he threw like 67 passes. Like that should not be happening.
But it's
Well,
gonna.
But well, this is what I thought.
Hero plays
Joe
hero. Man.
Joe Mixon did good the second half of last year. He ended on a really strong note. I remembered last year he didn't do as good in the beginning, and then when they realized that they had nothing left and they really they committed to the tanking, Joe Mixon was freed. So they're 0-2 already, and they're in a competitive division. So I'm clinging to the hope that they start feeding him more.
okay, yeah, I think that what you would say about Josh Jacobs is that this was a floor game,
This was a
and
floor game.
yeah, and if 12 points and half PPR is a floor, I'm pretty cool with that.
Me
Yeah.
too.
hmm Yeah, 'cause that's still double digits, man. That's still gonna help you get to, was it that magic 120? That's what you shoot for, Connor. Is that right?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
got more than that.
Oh yeah,
I
dude.
got
But you.
123.
Oh, heyo,
Point
heyo.
74.
Oh my gosh, dude. Did
Feeling
was I
saucy.
wrong? I am so apologize. I
You should
regurgitated
be.
you.
All of those 3 points.
Yeah, I regurgitated you, man. I'm sorry. Uh, what's your thoughts on that game, Ethan?
Talking about last Thursday.
Yeah, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Yeah, what was your takeaways?
I think it shows you the once again though, this is kind of like, looking at Aaron Jones against Minnesota and then against Detroit. I mean, we've seen I was about to say, oh, Chubb and Hunt and that offensive line for the Browns, look out. But I'm like, oh, that's Cincinnati that we're talking about. So, I don't know what it means. It makes me more optimistic about them because here's the thing. I mean, you can't crap on these teams when they do well against a bad team, because if they're a good team, then they should do well against bad teams, right? So it doesn't prove anything. It's just less definitive.
Yeah, sure. One of the biggest
I
takeaways
like
that
Chubb and Hunt. That's my takeaway. Liking both of them.
well, my biggest takeaway is that whenever you start every single running back that that you can against
Yeah.
Cincinnati, that's my takeaway. I mean, they're extremely weak there. I mean, like that's just I mean, just delicious, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the one thing that I would say. I mean, but they were picked apart, man. I mean, Baker Mayfield picked them apart. OBJ got 15 some odd points, in a half point PPR. Hooper of course didn't do anything because he's more of a blocker there. Landry didn't really do much either, but still, he's still like with the Chubb, Hunt, OBJ, which was a surprise because on this podcast, we did talk about how we would sit OBJ. I know I did, and so that defense is just not good. And see, and that's my whole point. Back is why you do not start Tyrod Taylor over Herbert. The Cincinnati defense is not good, and all that guy could get you was 17 points when you have Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry
And Mike Williams.
and Mike Williams. Yes,
Mm.
and that's the best that dude can do. Yeah, yeah, exactly, dude, exactly. So yeah, man, I would say just Cleveland, I think showed that they're at least an average team, and I felt that like me being a Kareem Hunt owner, that anytime that I see where it's going to be a soft running team, that you can get that they don't defend the run too well, then that's the one that you can start Kareem Hunt. But like I'm not starting him this next one. I think they're playing Washington. I think I don't know, but yeah, I'm not starting. I'm not starting them in that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's. But I was really excited. It was nice to start the week off with 23 points and just be like, yeah, I know I got something.
Yeah,
So
that position is set. And flex is the one that kind of the wild card, right?
hmm
They
yeah.
have a lot of digs this last week.
Yeah, and see, that was also kind of the whole part of the whole cathartic thing is that as a rule, it's just smart, that whatever who you're going to flex, if it's a wide receiver, then you put them in the wide receiver, even though they're not like wide receiver 2 or 1 material, you still put them there, and then you put your wide receiver into flex because you just want to make sure and keep that flex open,
Yeah.
since you don't want to lock it in, too early on Thursdays. So I put Hunt as my RB2 and Eckler my flex. And when I looked at the points, I was like, hey, my RB2 got me 23. My flex got me 16. That's pretty good,
Yep.
for half points. So yeah, there we go. Hunter, move us on.
All right. And we're going to pick up the pace a little bit, fellas. Next, we had the Giants at the Bears. And this game was a low-scoring affair, but it was interesting. It was 13-17 Chicago all the way. They're 2-0 in the division. If you had Robinson, you weren't happy. He had 3 measly catches made out of his 9 targets. If you had David Montgomery, you're happy. He got 20 points. He led the team in receiving yards and a touchdown for the day.
Montgomery led the team in receiving yards. That's something. That's a stat right there.
It's just Matt Nagy hasn't kicked in. That's he hasn't realized who he is yet. So yeah. So yeah. I mean, I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
Now, you said something, Brian. What did you say?
I said Matt Nagy.
What? Are you waiting for me to do it again? I already did it.
I know, but I didn't hear it at all the first time. We had to get it again for the people. Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Mhm. It was a misfire.
that definitely is a misfire.
Well, obviously Saquon is injured for the Giants. I mean, we've already talked about the Giants' offense.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys were talking about Deion Lewis. That he did get 14 total touches. 10 carries, 4 catches, but he played 100% of the snaps. But we already talked about how Wayne Gallman was a healthy scratch. Darius Slayton. He got 3 catches for 33 yards, so that was really good. He actually he led the all players and routes run. There we go. Yeah, he got the same. Golden Tate got the same actually receptions as him, or targets, I should say. And yeah, dude, David Montgomery outproduced Tariq Cohen when they just gave him again. Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy's gonna do Matt Nagy stuff.
Did y'all hear that one?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So, dude,
Beautiful.
is Montgomery? Is he a true bell cow now? I'm a dude. Come on.
David
What do you think?
Montgomery.
What do you think, Ethan? I mean, we already know Connor's biased. So, what do you think?
I don't know. The money says no, but I mean and who knows what's going to happen? I don't want to have to predict. I don't want to have to pick who's going to be the receiver that Trubisky is going to be throwing to. I just don't in that position.
Okay, so you're saying that it's so unpredictable that maybe David Montgomery might not be consistently a true bell cow? Is that
No? I mean, if I have David Montgomery, I'm going to be starting him probably as
Okay.
an in my flex, but I'm going to be kind of nervous about it. every
well?
time.
Yeah. Well, you dropped Anthony Miller, which you should. He got you this one's easy to understand, a goose egg. So that one's easy to understand. It's not an
if they goose you on the bench, then it's an okay thing.
right. But it's Allen Robinson. I mean, he put up a 3 for 33 line. 9 targets on Sunday. I meant, is he so he's getting targets? Is he a buy low candidate?
My sights are elsewhere.
Okay, so that's a no for you. What about you, Ethan?
If I can give up like a couple late round pieces that I'm not in love with right now,
Like, give me 2. I can give you 2 right off the top of my head. AJ Green and T.Y. Hilton.
I do that. Yeah, I do that.
I don't think the owner would take that though.
Dude.
You don't know where you picked Robinson.
Mhm.
You are pissed off right now.
That is true.
There was never a fantasy mock that I took Robinson because I just knew. It's like my hits were more on the players that I knew I didn't want.
Yes.
That's where I was more successful.
Right. All right.
But yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay, moving on.
Next, we had the Atlanta Falcons at the Dallas Cowboys. And if you saw this one.
Fun game, man. That was a fun game.
Yes.
If you're a Cowboy fan.
It's 39-40. But if you're a Falcons fan, you're used to not being, pleased when it matters.
Yeah. How about CeeDee Lamb, man? He led the team in receiving yards.
Schmuck.
Yeah, 106
right.
yards. He led it, and he had the same target. And he tied Amari Cooper with 9 targets, man.
You're right.
Yeah, and he also did most of his damage from the slot. So
the Cowboys had such turnover problems, and they were having turnover problems from people that normally don't have turnover problems.
Mm-hmm.
So Dak started looking to different people, and it worked out.
Yeah, dude. How about that, man? The Dak attack. I mean, jeez.
Yeah.
Holy
I
mackerel.
have him in a league.
Gotta go, Dak.
Very nice. There was a moment where he went into the tent, and I was terrified. Oh no, the game is going so good, and then he comes back in and scores a rushing touchdown. I'm like, oh.
So you went in there to get some of that LT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did remember that happening. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So with Blake Jarwin out, Dalton Schultz, dude, he led. He was the replacement, the tight end for the Cowboys. He actually led the team in total targets with 10 and the receptions with 9, and he caught Prescott's lone passing touchdown. Is he a waiver wire pickup? Connor? No, Ethan.
I might drop my backup tight end that I have. If I have a backup tight end, I'll drop them to pick him up.
Like which one?
If I'm sitting on
Hooper.
Yeah, if I'm sitting on Hooper, or if I'm sitting on, honestly, I know everyone.
Herndon.
Yeah, definitely Herndon, and I know everyone's loving on Evan Ingram, but he hasn't been great.
Not.
I'm looking at what Schultz did this last Sunday, and I'm like, I want him. I want some of that.
I'm living that Noah Fant life, and that
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith life, and
the
that Mike
Driscoll.
Gesicki life.
I'm living the walrus life right now.
Cuckoo
Yeah,
Kachoo,
I,
mofo.
dude, you and Gasicki. I was joking with Connor, because he dropped Gasicki like get away from Miami, and then like as soon as Gasicki blew up, he's like so it's almost like he threw up, and then he's like eating his own throw up, like I want it back, I want it back.
Just like what you did with Tannehill.
Yes, I was gonna say I can't throw any stones because I did that with Tannehill. I was like, yeah, no AJ Brown, no bueno. But then like now the game wasn't even finished, and I'm dropping my deep Minnesota defense and picking up Tannehill. I was like, oh my gosh. Hayden Hurst though, man. Hayden
Yeah.
Hurst.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey yo. If you had him, if you had Russell Gage, if you had Calvin Ridley, you were happy. If you had Julio, you were upset. If you had Todd Gurley, you're a sucker for drafting him. But if you had Hayden Hurst, you were really happy. I was wrong about him.
Yeah, man. I'm not such a loser after all. Got that one right.
Speaking of losers and not so much after all, next we have the
real quick, real quick question. I just want to throw out there on that game, just real quick. With Jones dealing with his injury, is he a buy low candidate? Ethan, do you think you would buy low on him?
On Julio Jones?
Yes, Julio Jones.
I'd be willing to give more for him than I would Robinson.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Okay, what about you, Connor?
No.
Okay. All right, moving on.
The
I would say so. Yes.
Okay. Well, there it is. The Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers scored 42 points, and that's an underscore. Aaron Jones scored more points in fantasy than his team scored. Let that settle in.
Yes, I enjoyed that quite.
I bet you did. You could have scored over 200 points this week. That's a record. I don't think I've ever seen that in fantasy football.
I've never seen it. No.
In a 10-man league, I've seen it happen. I'm playing in an 8-man league, which I'm hating. It is.
Yeah.
There's an 8-team league that I'm playing in, and I've seen that happen. But that's happening because people are, they've got Lamar Miller and Devontae Adams and like these insane lineup, and it's just like that's what happens. But deeper teams, it's harder to do that.
Lamar Miller's an insane lineup.
I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson. So.
I was like, okay, dude, do I got to trade for you?
Yeah, no, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, dude, Aaron Jones blew up, man. But it might have been, like we were talking earlier, that it just might have been just Devontae Adams going out. Maybe that might have done it. But before he left, Devontae Adams did have 8 targets, and so he'll say, but so you can't really say if that was the case, So it's an interesting thing. You presented a really interesting way to look at it. They haven't played anybody tough yet. Let's see them play something tough before we start crowning kings. So yeah, I see what you're talking about. It's just a really good team beating up on a bad defense, which that's what you're supposed to do. Lions backfield guys.
One of the things that I like about this though is that in their division, two of the two teams that they play, 2 of them are in their division, so they're gonna play again 2 more. They're gonna play each of them again another time. So that you at least got that going for you.
Right. And but the Lions backfield. Can you trust anybody? No, Connor? Would you trust anybody? Like anybody? Wow. That's the other side. That's the other side of the gut.
I think when Kenny Golladay comes back and you see they're able to stretch out the field a bit more with receivers, I think you might see a running game start to emerge, but I don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah. The only one that seems to be like consistent is DeAndre Swift, and that's in the passing game. He got 5 targets this past game. And I was telling Connor that when we were talking earlier that I like Swift because it only takes like a Kerryon Johnson injury or an Adrian Peterson injury, and then now he's splitting time, running the ball and catching the whole time. So yeah. So there we go. That's all I got. So moving on.
Jacksonville at the Tennessee Derrick Henrys. Well, actually, this week it was the Tennessee Jonnu Smiths.
Oh, the Tennessee Tannehills, man.
Say,
Yeah, you're right. It was the Tennessee Tannehills.
yeah.
We'll
It
give
was
it to
like
him.
it was like right there. So, Ethan, talk about that, man.
I mean, this is yet another game where you're thinking this is where Jacksonville is going to show us how incompetent they are. And they come out and it's a good game. It's a good game. Minshew is hanging in there. You know, I mean, he didn't have as solid of a game this time as he did against the Colts, but it came down to the wire. I think Derrick Henry owners are starting to sweat a little bit right now because they're not seeing much out of them.
Mm-mm.
And we're seeing Tannehill go off, and he doesn't even have his number one wide receiver out there. So I think everyone's saying we didn't see enough of Tannehill. I wonder what they're saying now.
Yeah, he picked up right where he left off last year, man. So that was one of the things I was that one of the three things I was right about on my draft. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, 3 out of 15. That's not bad, right? Yeah, Tannehill.
He had to be played, my friend.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he went Tannehill went 18 for 24 for 239 passing yards and four touchdowns. Now, Derrick Henry, you're right, man. You're right. You know, he finished with 84 rushing yards and 2 targets and 0 catches. You know, didn't have it. He still hasn't seen the end zone this whole year.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's not making me nervous. You know, I'm a Derrick Henry owner. Excuse me. And dude, and I'm just like Derrick Henry gets stronger as the season goes on. You know, and I think it's more or less not he gets stronger. I think that the defenses get more tired, you know, because they're getting a little worn, a little beat up, a little dinged up, and just Derrick Henry just keeps plowing. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of good games ahead. Um, would I give up on Henry? No, but somebody might. So you might want to go out to your league, see what you can get for him. Maybe you can offer Austin Eckler for Henry. Maybe you might be able to get something like that. Maybe if you get somebody who likes mixing, you can package them together with somebody and maybe get Henry. But I would go get Henry. I think his best games are definitely to come. But he wasn't the best running back on the field, guys. Best one was James Robinson. You
Yeah.
know, he led the teams in 16 carries, man, and was involved in the passing game, man. 4 passes, 4 targets. What's your thoughts, Connor, on James Robinson, man? What's your thoughts on him?
It's not my cup of tea. I know some people are into that offense, but I'm not. I think that was kind of the ceiling for how good they can do. That team's not gonna be running the ball a lot.
It's a good defense, though, man.
Not as good as we thought. I mean,
All
who
right.
have they? I mean, they played the Broncos, who had Drew Lock as quarterback, and he's suspect. He's serviceable at best, and they played against the Jaguars, and Minshew put 30 on him.
But didn't Pittsburgh play Denver, and Denver put up some points on them too? And Pittsburgh's one of the best defenses in the league. So
That's because
if
they fed Noah Fant.
but
Yeah.
that if they did as well against Denver as Pittsburgh did, what does that say about Tennessee? And
So
also loving on the Colts defense, and they let Jacksonville beat them.
so
So
maybe the Titans slept on the Jaguars. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they slept on them. They thought they weren't going to do that well, and they kind of creeped up on them.
Ethan, are you a believer in Robinson?
I've picked him up if I have a spot without someone like I'm not dropping Gibson for him or anything like that, but I definitely like I'd drop Hines for him at this.
Mhm.
Um, and also, you know, he's one of those guys that like it's you know if you're a Barkley owner and you're looking for someone who might get the starting job, like for me, I would pick up Lewis and then find a way to get Robinson on your team. That way, if Lewis doesn't work out, you can plug in Robinson as a RB2 or a possible flex option.
Yeah, we're gonna cover this in our next show. But just to throw it out there, like I own Robinson, and I'm starting him against Miami. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, because I'm at. But you know, I'll go into the details there. I mean, other than the fact it's obvious when you look at Miami's defense, but yeah, this is the only running back to get 100% of the carries. Okay, this guy is a bell cow, and that's what you're asked for. And so, I mean, I picked him up. I was real excited to pick him up. You know, so Actually, I joked when I picked him up that he was actually the same as Joe Mixon, whenever I picked him up. But unfortunately, at this time on September 21st in this foul year of our Lord, it actually Robinson is better than Mixon right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, dude, I think the Jaguars might be getting either. See, at first, until you just mentioned it, Doc. Until you just mentioned it, it wasn't. It was right in front of my face. I didn't see it, but I was thinking, maybe the Jaguars aren't, as bad as we all thought. It's like, no, I think you're right. I think, but people are sleeping on the Jaguars, and that's what's
Yeah.
happening. They're like W, and they move on, and they're like, oh my gosh, hang on, this thing, these guys are coming at us, and this guy can actually run and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
DJ Shark, you're a shark owner. Your name is Sharka Khan. How you
Yeah.
feel?
I feel a little better because, I saw at least double-digit points out of him this week. But, eh, letting things play out, I'm not going to jump ship yet because, I'm riding that Sharkacon wave. But he's played a couple tough defenses. I love playing him this week against Miami. I'm looking forward to that matchup. I think.
Yeah, those quarterbacks supposed to be really good, but Josh Allen tore them up.
Diggs begs to differ.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Anything to add on that, Connor?
No.
Moving on.
The Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts. Speaking of Diggs, the Vikings coulda used him in this one.
Yeah, he could have thrown passes because Kirk Cousins got negative points. Negative points, man. Like
negative.
Like the defense last week got me negative points. Who would even think the quarterback would get you negative points? Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, what's going on over there? Do you trust the offense, Connor? Do you trust this offense? Dalvin Cook. Do you trust Alexander Madison? Do you trust Thielen? Do you trust Rudolph? Do you trust any of these guys?
No.
Ethan, how do you feel?
I'm not going to go out on Thielen yet. Thielen gave you potentially a game-winning performance week 1. So don't forget that. You know what I mean? Like, what did Devontae Adams do to you this week? Not much. He didn't have a great game. But he had an absolutely nuclear game the week before. So I'm not out on Thielen yet. They had a bad game. It happens.
Yeah. 8 targets. Yeah. But I was talking to Connor about this earlier that, my concern if I was a Thielen owner, is that, week 1 he went off because they didn't know how they were going to handle without the new offense. Week 2 they had video on it and they said, hey, you know what? Let's just cover Thielen. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, and they're like, and I was telling Connor, it's like the OC of Minnesota was like, oh my gosh, how did they figure that out? Just have to cover Thielen. Yeah. So, and if you're looking at more targets for Thielen, you're looking at the defense is starting to really key in on him. Then you're looking at a guy, he's would you say he's injury prone? No, a little. Doc, would you say he's a little injury prone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thielen?
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd be nervous. If I was an owner because he's getting those targets, but the defense is keying in on him. I don't know if he can make a season. Yeah. So I'm nervous about that guy. How about you go ahead and talk about your J train, Connor?
The J train was unleashed on the public, y'all, and he outtouched Choo Choo mofo, Choo Choo, and he outtouched and out choo chooed Naeem Hines. Naeem Hines only had 1 touch that game. He had one singular touch that did nothing. So there you have it, folks. In 2 weeks, Jonathan Taylor has dethroned Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack's out for the year, and he's sitting on the throne, just like, and then Naeem Hines is like, "Do you want more grapes, sir?" And then
oh my god,
Jonathan Taylor's like, "Nah."
To be fair, it was a tragic Achilles injury that dethroned Marlon Mack.
That's very true, but We did say Marlon Mack is injury prone, man. He's like him, Chris Carson, and Dalvin Cook. They all run very hard, and they run so hard that they just can't stay healthy.
Ran so hard that it injured the linebacker for Minnesota.
Really?
So, yeah. No, I'm just I'm just feeling your flow, man. I'm just kind of I want to be part of it. Yeah. So I jumped on.
Hey,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
But you guys, y'all didn't get my joke when I said it was Dr. J Train and Naeem Hines, so
Yes, yeah.
Dr. Jekyll was trying.
I
Anyway,
got
thank you. I knew you would get it, doctor. You're a doctor. But yeah, Hines seems to be a game flow dependent as a pass catching back. Would you guys drop him? Is he droppable?
Yeah.
I'm dropping him because to me, this is the game where you would want to start him. This is the game where you felt like you would have the shot. You felt like Minnesota would get, down early, which is exactly what happened. And you would get just some, maybe some dump offs from Phillip Rivers to keep drives alive on third down. And that's not what happened, So that just kind of shows me that, you know what, if it happens next week, okay, well, guess what? It's not going to happen with enough consistency to keep me putting him in my lineup.
Yeah. And there was actually one injury we didn't talk about, Paris Campbell.
Yeah.
Dropped
out
him.
for the year.
Well,
of course. Yeah. So does that make more opportunity for Michael Pittman Jr.? I mean, is he a waiver priority? And how about Mo Alley Cox?
Yes, I want all the credit for this. None of the blame.
Well, yeah.
That's what I asked for, and that's what I got because he blew up right away.
Well, I think as long as Doyle stays hurt, or who's the other one that they
It's Trey Burton. That's
Burton, Mr. Burton.
Excuse me.
As long as if both those guys stay hurt, then Mo Alley Cox is a thing. But I think that whenever they come back, it might cause a problem. But to your point, Connor, Cox did lead the team in receiving yards at 111
on 5 catches.
But Pittman led the team in routes run and snaps played. So I'm wondering, if Michael Pittman is actually a good waiver wire pickup. So I don't think T.Y. Hilton, we said his name earlier, but it was not because of how great he's doing, it's because how bad he's doing. So I think Pittman might be the actual waiver wire pickup there.
Well, I think it's worth noting that Phillip Rivers, not only is he old and he can't move, but he can't throw super far accurately, which is why he likes to throw to running backs. He also likes to throw to tight ends. So Mo Alley Cox might. He likes to throw to tight ends. Mo Alley Cox is a giant human being. Who knows? Phillip Rivers with Michael with Paris Campbell being out might target Mo Alley Cox a lot.
Okay, all right,
maybe exactly what happened.
Anything to add to that, Doc?
No.
Moving on.
The Buffalo Bills barely beat the Miami Dolphins.
You had to put that little adjective in there, dude.
Had to.
I'm glad it was barely. It kept Diggs going, man.
Yes. Yes. It was an exciting game. If you had Gesicki or Diggs or Josh Allen, you were happy. If you had the Bills defense, you were not happy.
Dude, Josh Allen, man.
Those are about the only.
He threw through. Listen to these words. Through, not run. Through for over 400 yards.
He ran for over 400 yards.
I love it, man. You know what? I feel so bad now. I was loving on Josh Allen, and then stupid camp narratives came out, and I said, no, I'm not Josh Allen anymore. And
well, yeah, dude. I mean, I there was a moment whenever, if you guys have been following the show for the draft, whenever I was saying that Josh Allen was gonna be a breakout, it was like the first show that I backed off because dude, stuff coming out like, he's watching his receivers too much, and all this stuff, So all this weird stuff was coming out, and like he wasn't gonna run, but he's not running. He threw for over 400 yards, man. That's 2 straight weeks, guys. 2 straight weeks of the Bills have averaged 40 plus attempts per game. This is not the Bills from old.
Yep.
So, and let's talk about a surprise here. Because Devin Singletary what didn't do well. Zach Moss didn't do well. But you know what running back did do well in that game? Connor?
The eternal one.
No. Galactus? Galactus is not even in this game. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's on the Jets now. Dang
Yeah.
it. Oh,
Myles
wrong AFC East team. Miles
Miles
Gaskin.
Gaskin. Miles Gaskin. He dominated the snaps, 64% over Matt Breida, who did 22%, and Jordan Howard, who did 11%. He was also used as a receiver, guys. 6 of them. And he was efficient, 6.1 yards per attempt. Run out and get Gaskins. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would get him.
Okay, here you go, Brian. You going Robinson or Gaskin?
Oh, dude, I'm going Robinson. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I trust the Jaguars offense more than I trust what's going on in Miami.
Gotcha.
And Robinson gets 100%. You heard the percentages I just gave you, right? Of Breida, Howard, and Gaskin, right? Gaskin was the higher one. But you know how many percentage that Robinson got of the carries?
100.
100%. I like that one better. Yeah. If I'm going to invest in these kind of offenses, give me 100%. I'll go that way. Yeah. So, yeah. So it was that was a surprise, So, but Connor, you're not wrong on your assessment of the Miami backfield. You're not, because there's obviously a running back that whenever he's given the majority of the work can actually produce for fantasy. It just wasn't Breida. It was.
Yeah, and Jordan Howard did vulture a touchdown that game. Just to bear in mind, that's the problem that I have with it is you have the three-headed monster.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. But it's also kind of a average offense, even though you're super excited about Mr. Gesicki. So yeah. But yeah. And how did Gesicki do in that game, by the way?
He got 20 points.
20 points?
He caught like 120 yards for a touchdown or something crazy like that.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, so you're right on that guy. I think he was one of my love targets. I can't remember. Can you remind me if he was one of my love?
I think he was.
Yeah. Well, dude, I only got so many right, dude. So, come on. Help me out here. Anything to add, Mr. Doc?
Nope, y'all covered it.
Moving on.
San Francisco at the
good.
New York Jets.
Ooh, man, this is where the bug came out.
The bugs came to play. Oh my
God, dude, everybody was getting hurt.
Where someone gets hurt, Mostert gets hurt, but he actually put up a good line for you before he went out.
The injury Oprah, You get hurt, and you get hurt. Oh my golly, man. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Connor?
It's brutal, man, but that's fantasy. Thankfully, I'm not invested that heavily in the Niners, so I feel bad for people who are.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe in Nick Mullins?
No.
And we already talked about Jordan Reed. You're not too worried. You're not too into that, right? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. And but Jimmy G is supposed to be week to week, so we'll see what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Tevin Coleman actually led the team with Mostert out with 14 carries. But Jerick McKinnon. I mean, he's the only healthy guy with Mr. Wilson. So yeah, so just watch out for that turf at MetLife. Holy mackerel, it'll get you. Yeah, the Jets didn't really have anybody that they were playing of consequence, out there, for fantasy value other than Herndon. And that was another thing is that with that regurgitation, I would say that that we were saying Herndon was going to be a target monster, and boy, he was just a monster. He didn't do no targets. Yeah. So I think he's droppable because he should have gone off in a game like this. So yeah, with all his injuries. So thoughts and prayers to San Francisco, players, man. But that defense isn't what it used to be, and same thing with that offense. So. Yikes. That's all I can say about that. You got anything to add there, Connor?
Yikes, indeed.
Doc,
none of those teams are. I've been really interested in fantasy.
Yeah.
I think Crowder, when Crowder comes back, I think he'll be relevant.
Yeah, he'll be a play, but not.
Hey, was that a crow?
Mhm.
Is that what that was, or did?
That's I need to make a sound bite for him, just to like anytime he scores.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Work on that. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on.
Speaking of birds, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles, and boy oh boy, this one was one-sided.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Unfortunately,
Slope to
I
the left.
started Dallas Goddard this game because I had a feeling.
Me too. Yeah. I sat Hurst and I started Goddard. Yeah. So, yeah. I can't believe I won, but I did. Yeah. Now the Higbee's the big story, right, for the Rams. Blowing up. Yeah. 3 touchdowns, 54 receiving yards on 5 targets. Now, listen to what I just said. 3 touchdowns, 54 receiving yards on 5 targets. Okay.
Not a lot of targets.
So, no. Is this guy? Is he a prime? Sell high person? I mean, what do you guys think?
I would. That's just me.
How long is Everett out for?
Well, he was banged up when he entered into week 2, but it didn't really change his usage from a snap and routes perspective. Yeah. So yeah.
Higbee, I had Higbee last year, last half of the year, and he was one of my pickups at the halfway point that just carried me. So it seems like he's out there still. He had a good week 1, had a stellar week 2, but it seems very House of Cards, right? Like that. All it takes is okay. Well, that could have just been 6.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
16 routes runs pretty good. That's how many routes he ran, but still 5 targets. Come on, man. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's you know what? That's almost the same as their backfield. Who is it? Malcolm Brown, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson. Which one is it? Which one is it? But Connor earlier, I think last week, he was like, amigo, now I get to be your amigo to you. Pick up Malcolm Brown. You're welcome. Yeah. Thanks.
It was an asset. It was an asset.
You're close. That's half the word.
Yes.
Yeah. No, sit. That's what I'm talking about. Sit. He's an ass.
You tried trading him to people. You got your mileage out of him, and then you dropped him.
Oh my god! I got
That's what
crickets.
I do.
That's what I got.
That's what I get too. 99 times out of 100.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, anyway.
It's the beauty of trading. It's a beautiful thing, guys. It really is.
Yeah. I don't know.
It really means is the beauty of taking advantage of people who don't know any better.
Well, see, I guess that's my problem is that I trade equal. Like I feel like a good trade hurts both sides.
Yeah.
But since I'm trying to give up something big, people are like, "What are you doing? What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to give up somebody that's really good? What's going on? Oh, what's happening?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm just trying to give you equal value. Why are you trying to give me equal value?" I'm like, "Come on, man.
Why are you trying to be good?
Yeah, why are you trying to be cool? What's going on?" Ethan, talk about your experience with Miles Sanders. What made you decide to play him, and are you happy, or what's your feeling of him going on? What's going on?
I drafted him to play him. Like there's some players where it's like when you pick him past a certain point, I'm like, dude, you start him. You picked him to start him. I knew it wasn't a great matchup, but for my running backs, I felt good about who I had. I had McCaffrey, I had Jones, and I had Sanders. I'm like, I feel okay starting Sanders because Jones or McCaffrey can pick up the slack if he doesn't perform. And
so Sanders was kind of in your flex then.
Yeah, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and you're pretty confident. You're pretty happy with it going forward.
I don't know who they have next week, but the Rams are a great defensive line, and so if he was able to have a good game against the Rams, I feel confident about. I don't want to say this and then play like Pittsburgh next week, but I feel confident about him moving forward. And they're playing the Bengals next week.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're gonna blow up. Connor, Carson Wentz, droppable.
I've never liked him.
Yeah.
Never.
This is where we need like a red alert drop here on my soundboard. Ow.
Like a donkey noise over and over again.
More like
Exactly.
like some kind of error thing.
No, I think I kind of like Connor's donkey noise. At first it was weird, but that third one really got me for some reason.
I don't want to hear that again.
Yeah, that sounded a little. That was awesome. That was awesome. Okay, anything more to add, guys, to this game?
No, we need to get away from this game.
Moving on. Moving on. Is that
The
it?
Denver Broncos at the
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ah,
Now,
gee.
Fant fanted, and the Steelers steeled, and they were victorious.
Ben Roethlisberger had a decent game. Juju did not have a
Yeah.
very good.
Hey.
James Conner had a very good game, though.
How about
On
that?
my bench.
Oh, dude, what the hell?
Benny
What-
Snell. Is Benny Snell droppable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Drop that guy. Connor, are you dropping Benny Snell?
When I see something that's better, yeah.
Yeah. Gaskin, would you drop Benny Snell for Gaskin?
No.
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 So, okay. All right. That's
Because
what about you,
Connor
Co-
could get injured during practice this week.
Well, he is going to get injured, but he's going to come back like he always does. That's the true Wolverine, dude. It's not Breida.
No, because you forgot Connor last year he got injured, and he came back and he got injured again, and he had to sit out a couple of games.
So he's like Mr. Glass meets Wolverine. That's
Yeah.
Connor.
He is not Wolverine. That is Breida. Do not dare try to take that away from him.
I'm just saying, dude, he was knocked out of the first game. Okay, like week 1, he's sitting on the freaking sideline because
That's
because
he is in the black hole that is Miami.
And then he comes. No, I'm talking about Connor. And
Oh.
then Connor comes back in, 16 carries for 2 catches. I mean,
Well, I think that the Broncos
Wolverine.
defense isn't as good as it would be if it had Von Miller. I think we might have seen a different performance from James Conner. To be fair. To be
okay,
fair.
yeah, that's fair.
Because Von Miller is a big part of that. I mean, you know that. You're a Broncos fan. He really
Yes, sir.
changes the dynamic of their defense.
Yeah. But so does Drew Luck and Cortland Sutton. I mean, these guys they kind of help. Philip Lindsay. But Deontay Johnson staying up with Pittsburgh. Deontay Johnson, blow up. I mean, he got 13 targets, man.
So as a Juju owner, I actually have some thoughts on this.
Yeah. Speak it.
I noticed something about Big Ben's game. One of Big Ben's things always was that he had the arm and he could throw down the field. I don't think he can do that like he used to.
Okay.
I know that he threw like that long bomb to Chase Claypool. But what I'm saying is like Big Ben, like he can't consistently throw down the field a lot. Like he has to throw who excels in the slot? Juju. So I don't feel worried, even though Deontay Johnson is doing good. Because man, he like muffed a punt and dropped passes last week. Like he is inconsistent. Until I see 3 good games in a row from him, I'm not worrying.
All right. You're not worried about my name is Mud, Chase Claypool.
I'm keeping an eye on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to record that blue for him. Yeah,
He only had 3 targets. That's the problem. That's not a safe bet in fantasy.
yeah, but one of them was an 84-yard touchdown.
Yes, I
yeah.
know, but that's not a sticky stat.
Yeah, his snap count routes were behind James Washington, so you're not wrong about that. Yeah. We already talked about Melvin Gordon, being the bell cow with 21 touches. Royce Freeman saw 3 carries. So, but and I also talked to you guys about KJ Hamler. That's somebody to keep an eye on. I mean, if by this time, if your pool is picked through, that guy might be somebody that you might want to pick up because Jeff Driscoll loves that guy. Hamler saw all 7 of his targets whenever Jeff Driscoll was in.
Okay. So
And Drew Lock's gonna be out 2 to 6 weeks.
there you go. Next
Moving
week,
on.
we had the Panthers of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Tampa Bays bucked their Buckaroos, and the Panthers panted, and it was over. The Buccaneers were victorious, 31-17.
See, like and subscribe, guys, and you get deep analysis like that.
Yes, I am the greatest. Now,
Panthers gonna Panther. Moving on.
Sometimes, if you want to be good at fantasy, you need to be able to think about things this way, because you should know what they're gonna do. And look, if you have Brady for fantasy, I think you should drop him. He only got 9 points. During this far in the season, he has 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he's fumbled once in each game.
Yeah, man. It's also a new team. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it really is up to you how you feel. But if you drafted him, I mean, you drafted him like kind of late, as kind of a. Well, actually, I got him in the 9th round, so yeah. I was starting him. I'm sitting him because I have Tannehill. And as I'm not worried about Brady, because Brady is in a new system. This is technically his 2nd game. They had no preseason, so it's a long season. I think it's too early to to give up on Brady. Do you concur there, Ethan?
Yeah, I agree. And they didn't have Godwin this last week, so you lose one of your best targets. So.
Yeah, one of my biggest questions though about Tampa Bay is not Brady or Godwin or even Scotty Miller. Yeah, that was a bad.
More like Shoddy Miller.
Whack whack whack. Dude, did Ronald Jones fumble away his job?
Yeah.
I mean, was that Fournette taking over, or was it just punishment for the Rojo fumble? What's going on there?
What normally I would just say that was just that just happened, and that's like the microcosm of the game. We're gonna move on. That's not gonna be a thing. But what did Fournette do with the ball when they gave it to him when he came in?
Yeah.
That if I was a Ronald Jones owner and I saw the fumble and then I saw Fournette come in, if Fournette sucked, then it'd be like, okay, I feel all right. Yeah. But Fournette came in and had a very long touchdown run.
Oh yeah, that 46-yarder. That
would make me go, ooh, that would make. Me
so would you say that what we saw was Fournette good because he's more familiar with the offense, or is the Panthers' run defense that bad, Connor?
I think the Panthers' run defense is that bad.
Okay.
I mean, 30+ points on him last week, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just what's really crazy is that Bruce Arians said that it's Ronald Jones' job unless he does something to lose it.
Bruce Arians also went on record saying that he purposely got a penalty because he thought it was easier for his kicker to kick a longer field goal than a shorter field goal. He's not necessarily someone you should trust when he's speaking in public.
Okay. All right. That's exactly what I was trying to allude to. Is he in the McVay area?
He is, yes. And I would say he is a tier above.
Whoa.
In like how much you should not trust him.
Yeah. No, I felt you. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. So of course we already talked about Christian McCaffrey. But he's supposed to be out, I think, 4 to 6 weeks or something like that, so we'll see how he does with his ankle. Thoughts and prayers. Mike Davis. Mike Davis
time. Pick him up.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're in the league, and he's there, and the McCaffrey owner has not jumped on him, you jump on him right now, because this isn't even a power play. You're picking up a starting running back.
Yeah.
For the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, with Teddy Bridgewater is also willing to throw the running back position, and as an Eckler owner, I know how important that is to have a quarterback. Yeah, and but Robbie Anderson, he was a story, man. He's back-to-back games with 100+ receiving yards, averaging 9 targets per game. Is he a weekly starter?
Especially with McCaffrey out, I'm going to go yes, because I think what we're going to see is instead of monster games at running back, we're going to see modest performance by the RB1 of Davis. We're going to see Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore both having good games. I think
Yeah.
we're getting both double-digit games out of both Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore this coming week.
Yeah, I see Moore because Moore's like already the guy he's depending on. Like that's his go-to. That's like his Crowder, so to speak. You know, I mean, like whenever things start happening, he starts going, looks at Moore. So it's I kind of see almost the same thing like what you saw Robbie Anderson in the Jets, how he produced. He would produce high, but I'm not sure if he's going to be consistent now that CMC is not there. I think that the defenses aren't going to be as worried about Mike Davis because I mean, you guys saw some of the Panthers games where McCaffrey was gaining his yards because he's McCaffrey. I mean,
Yeah.
the defense was hitting him, but he was pushing his way right through it. So I don't know if Davis has that in him or not. So I think it's going to be like as far as like who's going to have the highest scores. In my opinion, it's probably going to be wrong because I'm saying it out loud. More than Anderson and then Davis. I think that's how the point scales are going to go.
Next week, Curtis Samuels just tears it up.
Well, Curtis Samuel is good, but he's not that good.
I know.
Yeah, but he did do some runs, dude. You're not wrong about that. All right, you have anything to add there? Anything, guys?
Nope.
Moving on.
The Washington football team, known as WTF, playing against the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh,
And Kyler Murray time.
That's where your heart lies. Why don't you start this off here, Connor?
I love D-Hop. I love Kyler Murray. And, I even like Drake. And they definitely, they won 30-15. And, I think that Washington's defense seriously, did good in keeping them to only 30 points, but that's just me. If you had D-Hop, you were happy. If you had Murray, you were happy. If you had Drake, you weren't that happy because he only got you 10 points.
Yeah.
But, it was kind of an easy game.
Ethan, you're an Antonio Gibson owner. He led the team in carries. And he's second in forced missed tackles with 5, fourth in missed tackles per attempt, and ninth in yards after contact among running backs with at least 10 carries. He's got the highest snap share rate, 65%, and ran more routes than the veteran McKissick. How are you feeling about Mr. Gibson?
I'm feeling that another week or two of this growth, and I'm ready to start putting him in my flex. But you still want to see, especially since I have other options I feel more confident about to plug in. I'm looking at Gibson to be a last half of the year play. But I definitely do look at I see it trending in the right direction.
Nice. How do you feel about Logan Thomas? They're tied in. He's heavily featured, 9 targets, but he only managed to convert 4 of the catches for 26 yards.
I think everyone was imagining more because they were playing Arizona, but you brought up a great point. I think it was over the text thread we have that people work on that stuff. I mean, it's not like that just happens. They go, well, I guess we just suck at guarding the tight end. No, they work on it over the offseason, and that seems to be what happened. Yeah. I think also this game, I mean, McLaurin went off, right? So that was great. That was good for him. But I think what we saw in this game is that, it's still Dwayne Haskins. All right. Yeah. It's still a Dwayne Haskins offense.
Connor is a real big believer in their defense. Does that make you worried, Connor? About I know that Arizona is a high-powered offense, so it's difficult to say yes or no. But Dwayne Haskins, does that worry you as an owner, as a manager of the Washington team football?
Yeah,
he's not really
worried about short fields that he'll be giving up.
Yeah, you're not worried about it because in fact, there was it you, Ethan, that texted like, the Arizona just coughed up the ball, they just turned over the ball, by the goal line, and it's like, nope, Haskins just gave it back to him,
Yep.
Yeah. So So that's kind of that's kind of nerve wracking. But their front seven is pretty legit. I just think that their cornerbacks are going to be tough. Anything to add on that, Connor?
Nope.
Moving
Next,
on.
Kansas City, the Los Angeles Chargers, and this one was too closer than it should have been. It was 23-20. If you had Hill, you were happy. If you had Mahomes, you were happy, but it took you a long time to get there. If you had Kelsey, you were happy, and if you had Eckler, you were happy. But that was about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen.
I don't like him.
He had a decent game.
I don't like him.
One of the biggest points you made though was how it didn't come until like late in the game, especially for like Hill.
Yeah.
I think Hill was sitting at less than a point until like sometime in the second half.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you were like he got it all for you on like one drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doc, what's your thoughts on Herbert? I mean, over 300 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, dude, on his debut against KC.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a bad defense that he's playing against. It's just is the coach going to keep him starting? Because I like what I saw. It made me think. Okay, people were kind of questioning what was going to look like. What he was going to do. And I would be optimistic. If I'm an Eckler owner or a Keenan Allen owner, I am praying that he's the starter.
Connor, real quick, man. Joshua Kelly, he led over Eckler with 23 carries. But Eckler was the more efficient because he only got Joshua Kelly only got 1.9 yards per carry and 1 forced missed tackle, where Eckler rushed for 6.1 yards per carry and forced 10 missed tackles. But Kelly also got all the goal line work for a second straight week. Should I be worried about Eckler?
No.
Yeah? Why?
Because I told you so. No,
okay.
Because
moving on.
So the Ravens trounced the Houston Texans, thanks to Bill O'Brien.
We are. Oh, you are moving on. Okay, you didn't want to talk about. Yeah, I was joking. That was just a joke. Yeah.
No, I don't really think Kelly's going to be all that special. I thought we already covered that.
Okay, what about Hilaire? I mean, he didn't. He got 10 points in that point.
What are you going to do? Not start your first round pick?
Well, that's something you're looking at. Okay, all right. I see what you're saying. Sammy Watkins left the game with a head injury, but McCole Hardman and Demarcus Robinson split times. At the receiver in his absence. Would you go for any of those guys, Ethan?
No. Oh,
I'm gonna go. Robbie Anderson over him for sure.
Robbie Anderson over Robinson or Hardman.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Now I think this is a real one. Moving on.
Like I said, they trounced the Texans. If you had Mark Ingram, you were happy. If you had Andrews, you weren't happy. If you had Jackson, you were happy. If you had Watson, you weren't really happy. Doc, were you happy with David Johnson?
You know what? I didn't even look and see what he gave me in total. I just know that I won that game. Let's see, where's he at? He didn't give me a touchdown. I know that. No, I was not that happy.
There it is.
But playing Baltimore, I don't think I was expecting fantastic things out of that game playing Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
And Mark Ingram only made you happy because of one. That is a true running back by committee. I mean, you had Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and Mark Ingram. Just, I don't know what the snap count was, but it seemed like a even split across the three.
Ethan, I'll give you the snap count. You tell me which player you think it is. Okay. There's three numbers, and then you tell me which one you think it is. 10, 9, and 2. Which ones are which?
J.K. Dobbins is 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said 10 and 9?
10 and 9.
I'm going to go because this is a surprise. So I'm going to say Edwards is 10 and Ingram is 9.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing him because I on that team where I was playing David Johnson, I have both Ingram and Dobbins, and just waiting to see which one is the one that emerges. And exactly what I was worried about. Neither of them are emerging. They're both
Yeah.
just like
Well,
doing stuff, you know.
it must be mentioned that Edwards only saw significant work when the game was already out of reach.
Yeah, that's true. It's because they're trying not to risk their star running backs.
Yeah, and here's one of those. You hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability. Will Fuller sustained a hamstring injury in week 2, and he gave a goose egg on the day.
Who's running out to get Brandon Cooks off the waiver wire now?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that, dude. He stepped up to be the go-to target for Deshaun. I mean, what do you think, man? Connor, would you run out and go get Cooks?
Nah.
No,
No.
Ethan.
I would. I think he's going to be a monster for PPR.
Yeah, as long as he's healthy. You know, it's one of those things because he does have a tendency to get those concussions.
The problem that you have though is that if you go pick him up to stream him this week, the Texans have the Steelers. So I don't know
True.
how great you're feeling about that right now. So.
Connor, being a hardcore Texan fan, there, are you happy with Jordan Atkins? You know, I mean, he did great, man. He 7 receptions, 55 yards, 7 targets.
He's a streaming option. I mean, I've better tight ends. I'm not even thinking about him.
So
realistically.
Okay, Ethan, between Atkins or Darren Fells, who would you choose?
After what I saw on Sunday, Atkins.
Yep, he had 83% snap share to 40%. Yeah.
Well, there it
And
is.
he took advantage of those targets.
Deshaun Watson, you worried about him?
I mean, I don't own him, but yeah, if I did, I would.
Yeah. Ethan, would you be worried about him if you owned him?
I would.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think that the weapons turned out to be exactly what we thought, and I think the people that draft Deshaun Watson high said, "Well, he's Deshaun Watson." That so Deshaun Watson is going to Deshaun Watson. Well, you can't really
part of that.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't. Go ahead.
That's why I have, because I understand, most, like, when I get asked the question, I always say, well, I don't own them. Like, that might be a little jarring, but it's like that's why I purposely draft the way I draft, because there's guys I'm in on and there's guys I'm not in on. So when they don't do well, I'm not surprised if I called it. And we all drafted Deshaun Watson when we had a chance in the mock, but I don't think any of us was seriously thinking he was going to have the same output that Kyler Murray, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and maybe Josh Allen were. Now with D-Hop being gone.
I thought he was going to have more than Josh Allen, but who could have called that, right?
Right. Yeah. We'll see. It's early season.
Yep.
Yeah. Bill O'Brien hasn't pulled off that awesome trade yet. Oh, he did. You guys got David Johnson. Nice.
Moving on.
Moving on.
The Patriots tried to patriotize the Seahawks with the Seahawks soared back to Seattle with the victory.
Wow.
35-30. And Booty's, Cam Newton came out and he Prince Cam wanted to show everyone that he can still get the touchdowns.
Ethan, you have Cam Newton. You started Cam
I
Newton.
rolled him out today. Breeze didn't have Michael Thomas. And you know what? He does not look the same throwing downfield as he has looked historically. Breeze, every time he throws downfield, I start to sweat. It feels like he doesn't know what he's doing when he throws farther than 20 yards. So I plugged Newton in. It was a tough matchup because he's playing the Seahawks, but it's prime time, and I know he wants to show up, and he wants to take the game into his hands, and that's exactly what happened.
Dude, he led the team in carries and rushing yards.
Again, because they last week as well. So
yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns, man, and he was on his way to the 3rd before. Well, you know what happened on the final play.
Yes.
Yeah. Julian Edelman. How about that, man?
I was wrong.
He recorded the longest pass of his career yesterday.
Yeah. Dude, he had a career high in receiving yards, and it's so weird. How about that? He had that, and he played all these years with Tom Brady, and like 2 games into Cam Newton, and he's already posted a career high in receiving yards.
Yeah, I seem to remember an episode earlier where I said I would rather go Edelman over Fuller.
You called that.
I think it's fitting that Fuller goes down in a game, and Edelman has the highest yardage he's ever had.
Yeah.
I like
There's
that.
there's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Bird, Demir Bird. He led the Patriots in routes. Okay, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
yeah, he had 6 receptions for 72 yards on 9 targets. Nikhil Harry led the team with 12 targets. Any of those guys, Nikhil Harry, Mr. Bird, are
I'm
these
interested in Bird,
guys?
not Harry,
No, okay, so no, you're not Harry, obviously.
but I'm Bird.
Not anymore. You were earlier episodes you were, but you're not anymore. But you are interested in Bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ethan, feel the same way.
I still like Nikhil Harry.
Yeah. 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 I would have to be. Man, I just don't know what. I have to get over that. I have to get over the whole. The only wide receiver you can trust is Edelman. I'm still trying to get over
Yeah.
that thinking. But you can't trust the running backs. The running backs. Yeah. The only running back you can trust is Cam Newton. So there you go, man. Anything more? And Tyler Lockett. Yeah, how about that, dude? Yeah. And DK. They both did really really well. And of course, Russell Wilson, dude. He's cooking. Question though, I have though. Do you think that the coaching staff is rethinking the idea of letting Russ throw whenever they have the game, like when they're up? Should they have been like handing it off to Carlos Hyde or handing it off to Carson,
No.
or do you agree with the late game deep passes for touchdowns?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Ethan.
I mean, for fantasy purposes, of course, I love that.
No, they don't care about that. I'm talking about for controlling the game.
Well, I don't care about
No.
their game.
They're gonna do it until it blows up in their face.
Yeah. Do you think that injury to the linebacker changes their mind?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I think it changes their mind in the other direction against what you're saying, if anything.
Okay. Cool. All right.
So the final game,
Oh, moving on.
the final game, Saints at the Las Vegas Raiders. And the
Ugh.
Raiders raided the New Orleans Saints and took all their booty and said, who dat? Who dat? Because they lost, the Saints, that is, 24-34. And like the doc said, it was not pretty if you were watching Drew Brees.
Connor, I kind of like how you're adding these extra little, the Raiders or, I kind of like that, man.
Thank
I like
you.
that. Yeah, dude, it seems like it's off the cuff. I don't know if it's planned or not, but nice, little spicing it. Yeah, this is a game that was actually going on right before we were taping and actually ended during the beginning of our taping.
I was watching it during the taping.
I think we all were, with the sound off, to make sure to stay within rules, Connor. And but
I want to hear the
but-
game, man.
yeah, the Derek Carr doesn't look good. He doesn't look good in what I saw.
Derek Carr?
Yeah, Ethan, what do you think, man, when you see the quarterback for the Raiders?
The Raiders won because Waller and Jacobs, and because Drew Brees does not throw the ball well, or is not throwing the ball well right now. And Kamara can only carry the team so much.
Connor, is Drew Brees droppable?
Not yet.
Okay, so why do you drop Brady, but you don't drop Brees?
Because Breeze isn't throwing 3 touchdowns and 3 turnovers over 2 games with 2 fumbles.
He didn't
He's
throw
not
any
that bad.
today.
Exactly.
How many touchdowns did
Drew Brees threw none.
But did he throw any interceptions?
Yes,
How many?
one.
How many touchdowns did he throw last week?
I don't know how many touchdowns.
I'm pretty sure. Like the concern is, yeah, he didn't play good, but he's
He did
not
not have a
turning.
great game last week either, because I had started him, and that's why I ended up not playing him. He only got me 14 points. He had 2 touchdowns for 160 yards in week 1. That is not a good stat line.
He didn't do that good last year, and then
I
hurt?
He did have a passing touchdown today, but he had an interception.
okay,
He got hurt last
yeah,
year.
but
But
he
he's
blew
got-
up at the end of the year.
He's got 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So,
Well, if he's bad for another week, then I guess you could, advise dropping him.
Oh, all right. And Saints, you're a Saints defense owner there, Connor. How you feel about your who dat D?
We got the D.
Don't say that while you're looking down. That's just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man.
But I'm just looking at my fantasy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, well, we see you like you got the D. I mean, not good, not good. No. I would not be like we covered earlier. I would not be worried about being about Jacobs. Just I would prepare that if you're going to be coming across a tough defense, be prepared for the floor and not the ceiling. That's all we can tell right now with the first two games. Ceiling, when he beats up on somebody like Panthers or Minnesota, or probably Miami and definitely Cincinnati. Floor, is when you're looking at I would say Washington. I would definitely say Washington would be a floor. I would say Kansas City would be a floor. Pittsburgh would be a floor. Of course, the Saints would be a floor. So yeah, you just got to watch them. But I don't want to say he's matchup dependent. You got to watch your expectations with that. So yeah, but when he goes off, holy mackerel!
Yeah.
All right, anything to add? Anything more to add on that game?
Nope.
Will Lutz is awesome. Moving on.
That's it.
That's it. All right.
We made it.
All right.
We're at the end of the show, guys.
One thing I did want to talk about is because this is where we get a jump when we talk about waiver priority. So let's just kind of shoot this through here real quick. I'm gonna bounce back and forth between you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna mention some names. Y'all give me either high, medium, or low priority. Cool.
Cool.
All right. All right. So I have Mike Davis, Ethan.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Connor, Dion Lewis.
Low.
What's that?
Low.
Low. Okay. Michael Pittman, Ethan.
Low.
Low. Oh, okay. All right. Connor, Golden Tate.
Low.
Low. Okay. All right. Oh, this is gonna be interesting to hear what you have to say on this one, Ethan. Darnell Mooney. You know who that is?
No, I don't.
Okay. He's the rookie wide receiver in Chicago, but he's obviously the second over Anthony Miller.
Low.
Low. Connor, Devontae Freeman.
Low. Low.
Low. Okay. All right.
Low. Yeah.
And then we have. I'm laughing here because my headphones are giving me problems here.
Oh, bummer.
Okay. Then I have. All right. Ethan, Corey Davis.
Medium.
High.
The in between. The
Medium. Okay. All right. And then Connor, Alan Lazard, and MVS.
High.
Which
High?
one do
Okay.
you want?
I would prefer Lazard.
Yeah, talk about it, dude. Talk about it.
I mean, this, he's obviously the number one receiver. If Adams is injured, he's going to be injured for that long. MVS is, he's not consistent. He's always dropping passes and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, MVS does drop passes. Ethan, Jerick McKinnon.
High.
Okay. Connor, Darrell Henderson.
Low.
Ethan, Joshua Kelly.
Medium.
All right. Connor, McCole Hardman.
Low.
And now that you know who he is, Ethan, KJ Hamler.
You know what? For the next 2 to 6 weeks, I'll go medium.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, see if that worked out kind of well because that helped me kind of get my headphones going. So if I have a weird look on my face, it's because I'm concentrating. This is what I look like when I concentrate here. Yeah. Yeah. So okay. Well, I think we covered everything there, dude, guys. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We're good. All right. Everybody, so thank you so much for hanging with us. It's been almost a 2-hour show now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a show that we record on Monday nights, so we can have it for you. The plan is for you to be listening to us on Tuesday morning. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday morning. It's probably, if you're in Houston, it'll be rainy because we're being visited by Beta today. Yeah, and so all right. So oops. Okay, here we go. I'd like to thank our sponsors. Yeah, our support. You want to name them off there, Connor?
Shout out to High Volume Music, Pride of Sunnyside, and Sports Hosts, the international sports app for the international sports community. Shoot the gap. Like and subscribe, guys. We're putting out that fantasy knowledge like no other mother.
Any parting shots, Ethan?
I hope you all had a good week too, and I hope your teams weren't depleted by injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Connor, any parting shots?
I hope that you win, and I hope that you guys are trading and you're making trades happen. You guys aren't being trade prudes.
Yeah, and be kind, guys. Come on, it's a game. All right, let's have fun. All right, and just respect each other. If you don't have a trade you don't like, reject it.
And
It's
trust
okay.
trust people who are first in the league. They're probably your best friends.
Ah.
If they offer you a trade, you should take it.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please like and subscribe. We will be having another episode for you for Thursday morning to start sit episode to help you get ready. Hopefully, these waiver wires that we talked about will help you out, figure out what you need. Remember, all these high, medium, or lows are also based on what your team needs. Okay, so make sure and keep all those things in mind. All right, guys, just keep in mind in life, as in fantasy football. Don't dream it, be it. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great time. See you in a couple of days. Football's here.